Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We are a Third and Long podcast. I am joined by Mr. OBH and Mr. Ollie Hope, my two amazing wide receivers. Good, the best 1-2 in the podcast world.
You're
Good
getting better
evening,
at
gentlemen.
pointing to the right side.
I know. I was.
Best. We are the best 1-2 punch.
You are.
Yes.
How are you?
It's been a good week.
Ask me in the morning once my legs have stiffened
I was
up.
going to say, how are your legs?
For those who don't know, I coach a football team. They're under
And
10s.
his son has got revenge of him for stiff arming him on the show a few weeks ago.
So yeah, it was the last training session of the season. We just thought, sod it, everyone can get involved, siblings and all that. Me and my fellow coach decided to get involved, and my legs are going to be hurting tomorrow.
I tell you what, it's been a heavy week of prep for this, hasn't it? Because of my great idea that I was brewing when I was doing this prep.
I mean, I think it was a good idea. It's something that obviously we did our review of the season last season as well, and we sort of planned it, didn't we? We had it all planned out: which teams, which divisions, and our top five. You guys don't believe me, but I'm sure we did a top five last year of at least one position.
Yeah, but I don't think it was this.
I don't think it was this position. I think it was DBs, but I know we did quarterbacks because But I am going to warn people. Last year, when we did talk about certain players in this position, we had a war.
I've decided to try not to be argumentative today.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. This really finds out that I put a certain player not in my top five.
Well, Ollie, you've already told me your top five, so I know that. I know whether certain players.
There were 6 players I wrote down.
Yes, that is true. To be fair, you'll probably admit the one that we're talking about just to get at me.
I'm not that bitter. Come on.
Yes,
I'm not that mean.
I feel like you're bitter because I've not put a different certain player in my top five. A player that might play at Foxborough.
We will see in time.
But it has been. We are starting to get to the business end of off season. It is starting to really pick up. OTAs have started. I think most teams are, if not all teams, are OTAs.
I believe all are back.
Yeah.
Either this week or next week they start.
I know we're on day 5 of our OTAs.
I've already seen some brilliant catches from the rookies.
Yeah, was it Rondale Moore? The one we
Rondale Moore for the Giants. I can't remember the guy. The Kansas City guy.
Isn't it Wandale Robinson that plays for the Giants?
It's Wandale. That's all I can remember off the top of my head.
I think it's Wandale Robinson.
I
think Wandale Moore plays for the Cardinals.
Possibly. It's one of those. It's a Wandale.
Can I just say, it's really good to see. Obviously, we focus on our own teams as well. Obviously, we will zoom in on them. A certain Callum Mond, the guy that Mike Zimmer threw under the bus, has been pushed, given quite a lot of attention by O'Connell, which I think is interesting to see.
What I like is Lance got asked about the negative opinion a lot of the media is having on him at the moment.
Yeah.
And he replied saying, in the most respectful way, I don't really care what you guys think. I care what my locker room thinks. I care what my coach thinks. It's not my job to care what you think.
Best way to do it.
I mean, we've said about all the press and media coverage these players have, and you can take it one of two ways, can't you? You can
you can go the Trey Lance way, or you can go the Javon Kinlaw way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if either of you watched a video I put in the chat the other day.
I did, and I was laughing as much as you.
Probably not yet.
He's got. I do understand what he was saying, and he is a human being.
To be fair, Grant Corn does. How do I put this? probably antagonize the players more than anyone else. But still, threatening him, not really the way to go.
No.
I like the fact that if we talk about mine, KB, so Kendrick Bourne has said Mac could stop eating ice cream. Over the off season, he's lost. If you see the pictures of Mac, he is slimmed right down. He's toned himself up. Yeah, he looks really good. He's worked really hard in this off season.
I mean, we have to remember Mac Jones is a very young age to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah,
not as young as Trey Lance though.
Trey Lance isn't confirmed starter yet.
Yes, he is. He's been confirmed starter many times.
Is that who you got on your shirt today?
No, today I'm wearing a Juszczyk shirt.
Ah, okay.
I'm just prepping.
And he's wearing, and then we got him down here wearing a shirt for
non-league football shirt. Yeah. Shall we roll on to the news, gentlemen?
Yes, let's go on to news. So this week, the NFL have announced that the Scouting Combine will stay in Indy for the 23-24 season.
I think that's a good decision.
Yeah, I think it's
I think it's good being in Indianapolis because it's like in the middle of the USA.
Yeah,
and Lucas Oil Stadium is more than good enough to host it.
Well, yeah, I mean, every
move
scout can make it there, can't they? It's not giving anyone an advantage. It's not giving anyone it's used to holding these things. You know, if it ain't, I'm a big believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Because you don't want to stick it in like Buffalo where it'll be really cold, and you don't want to like stick it down in, I don't know, Miami where it'll be really warm. You want it in like
in a medium climate where all teams.
I don't. This sounds really weird, but a temperate climate.
Yeah.
And you don't want it. You don't want it mile high up in the mountains either.
It's not fair on players who go to college in a hot climate getting
cold climate
over a freezing cold climate. But
yes,
they're all in the same climate where they're all, unless they played in a mid-central sort of area, a climate where they are used to. So yeah,
and Indiana, it's got quite a lot of good colleges around it because I think Clemson's near there.
Yes,
not near there.
And it's good for the fans as well because, like Ollie said, it's central. So it's easier for the fans. No, you haven't got like a 4-hour flight to get from one.
I mean, fans can't actually go there, but yes.
I've seen plenty of fans at the Scouting Combine.
Yeah, but you can't buy tickets. It's like competition winners and families mainly.
Okay, fair enough.
And scouts. It's important you can't buy tickets for that combine.
Yeah, unless you want to become an NFL scout, which
or be.
I know two great scouts above me.
Yeah. If any teams are watching, yeah.
That's the plan.
Moving on, Hard Knocks is in Arizona this year.
I just hope we can actually watch it. I just hope we can actually watch it like on Game Pass before the season ends this time.
Well, yeah, I'm making my way through the Indianapolis one, and I have actually enjoyed it so far. I've only watched one episode, but I've got work tonight, and as you know, that's my work. For now, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good because obviously we've had the Kyler Murray issues. It'd be good to see what Kyler's like off the field.
I mean, a lot of his teammates have made statements about what he's like off the field.
Would you like to enlighten us?
It was a while ago, but I believe finger pointer and blamer was mentioned.
I'd be quite interested watching his little legs run around the practice
field. I can't remember the exact
Chris
quote,
Jones.
but finger pointer was definitely mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, he does seem to be a smaller version of Aaron Rodgers in several different ways. And that's not. But the difference is with Aaron Rodgers has almost earned that respect several times.
Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl ring and 4 MVP trophies.
Yeah.
And also chokes in playoffs, which Kyler Murray does.
Yeah.
I mean, we say that. The Cardinals did have the Rams in the first round.
They've played them twice this season already. They should know how the Rams play it, same as you.
Yeah, well, we beat the Rams. we beat the Rams twice this season. They lost both times.
In the Rams Cardinals in the regular season, they were 1 each, so it was almost a deciding set. But yeah, it's agreed. They shouldn't. They kind of got blown out of the water a little bit by the Rams in the postseason.
They did, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was like they knew how their game plan. It's like almost the second half of the Super Bowl. They had a game plan, and then like, okay, we're going to exercise this. And
it was as if they filmed the Cardinals like a certain New England coach did once. Sorry, I've just watched that Man in the Arena episode.
Cincinnati when we got
It was Jets. It was Jets. It was Jets, wasn't it?
Cincinnati.
Was it okay?
I don't know why we want to record Cincinnati, but back in them days. But hey,
on the subject of Kyler Murray, two allegedly discontented people, Kyler and Mr. Deebo Samuel, will not be at OTAs for their respective franchises, but that was expected.
Can I talk about this?
You can head up Deebo, definitely.
Oh, OTAs optional.
Yes.
Agreed.
If he doesn't turn up to mandatory OTAs, then that's an issue. Yeah. Do I think he should be there as a team leader? Yes. I mean, Jimmy's not there either.
Yeah, but Jimmy can't throw for another what?
Our quarterback coach says I don't know, a long time. Our
quarterback Brady doesn't go to OTAs, does he? Though I don't think.
Who?
Brady.
No, but he's Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But as a team leader, I think he should be there, but he doesn't need to be there.
Agreed.
And we posted about this on our social medias.
We do.
I shared it to the 49ers group, and I got a bit of a discussion going.
Would you like to enlighten to us? Because obviously we're not the 49ers group. Being that I'm a Patriot and he's some Purple team.
After a couple of people said it was a really bad take and that it's lazy journalism. I mean, calling it journalism is definitely something.
I love it.
Somebody did say, I wasn't expecting him to be because he's not signed. And I said, yes, that's true. But he said he's not even talked to us about signing, apparently. And somebody quite rightly pointed out that once he starts getting fined £92,000 a day for missing training camp, he might start talking.
But as you said, yes, it is optional. Yes, likes of Brady never did OTAs. Well, I say never. He used to, but the longer he got into New England, he didn't. That's because Brady earned that respect from Belichick and the coaching staff. They knew he was going to he's going to go and do his own conditional thing, where he did. Always came back.
He's putting it on the golf course.
Yeah.
Putting hole-in-ones in.
Just an aside to this. Jimmy's not turned up to OTAs, and yesterday our quarterback coach says he's not spoken to Jimmy since he got the job.
That's more worrying than Deebo not turning up.
Yes. Brian Greasy said he's not contacted Jimmy, and Jimmy has not contacted him since Brian Greasy got the job as our new quarterback coach.
That's a little bit worrying.
I think we know for a fact it's pretty. I mean, I know that OBHU was saying that it's not a done deal yet, but Trey is definitely going to get the number one spot.
Yes, Trey is starting next season.
I think we know that. I think although, I mean, last year it was still hit and miss, wasn't it? Everyone was sort of like, is he, isn't he? And then Shanahan came out and said, he's going to get the spot. But Trey has been improving in training. He's had a year to sit behind Jimmy. And that's what we said last year when the 49ers drafted him. He's going to sit behind Jimmy for this year and then see where we're at.
So
like
I'll
we're going to do
get,
for time,
I'm just going to get a quick
Montana, Marcus
Um,
Mariota,
so-
get it right in a minute.
This
What?
is what George Kittle had to say about Trey Lance. Trey Lance can run, extend plays, does all the play action stuff. It's incredible. He could throw the ball 70 yards. And this is what he said on the Pat McAfee show. He says he has an insane ceiling, but he says he also knows how good Jimmy is, and it's a toss-up for him. And he's glad he doesn't have to make the decision.
So the players are like, obviously Kittle's one of the team leaders. You know.
Yeah, but Kittle's also Jimmy's best mate, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you've got the same situation in Tennessee that you had last year now at San Francisco. You've now got...
Except I think Trey Lance is better than Malik Willis.
Oh, agreed on that one. That's not hard. Don't get me started on that one.
Shock Ollie OBH agreeing with that one, Ollie.
We know what we feel like. I feel like about Malik Willis.
Ollie, who do you think is better? Who do you think is better, Malik Willis or the undrafted quarterback Carson Strong?
I will go Malik Willis on that one. Purely the fact that Carson Strong didn't get drafted. What I've seen of Carson Strong isn't as mobile as Malik. It doesn't make those correct decisions, but Malik has a better arm. He's more mobile. He will not be a good player. He will be an average player in the NFL. Of course, Malik Willis. He won't be this massive star that everyone says he's going to be. He'll be a very good shirt seller, but that's probably about it.
You see, I disagree with you saying. I have to disagree. I mean, this has been done to death, but I don't agree that everyone is saying that Malik Willis is going to be a star. I think after the combat, on draft night, a lot of people and a lot of experts were saying, actually, this guy isn't all that. I mean, is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he?
The fact he was taken in what? Was it the third round he was taken?
Yeah, he was taken third round.
He was the fourth quarterback off the board.
Yeah.
Ridder went before him. Howell went before him, I believe. Obviously,
everyone. I mean, he was a really the QB class was always going to be a very unpredictable sort of beast. But I think any of those four could have gone in any order. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell, won't it? So
agreed. Mr. Clowney is going back to Cleveland.
Yes.
Another Clowney is going back to Cleveland. $11 million deal for 1 year deal. He was offered $5 million more by two unnamed franchises. I think we got an idea who they are. He chooses to go back to Cleveland. Obviously, he'll know the playbook being there before. So he hasn't. Obviously, there's going to be a few extra plays that are going to put in since he's left. Obviously, he's got friends, family there. He's obviously got a home there as well. So it makes more sense to go back to Cleveland. I think it's a good thing. I mean, Clowney is a very good player. And he does.
I actually had him down as one of the key losses for Cleveland before this news came out the other
day. He would have been a big loss. And he is a foil for Myles Garrett. Having two Patrick Garrett's Clowney on either side is worth, as Ollie knows very well, something that New England really don't have is two very good pass rushers. Where one goes, the other one, if one's two double team, the other you can't two team both pass rushers.
Yeah, you can't double team two people on the D line.
No, exactly.
That's why Arden Key and DJ Jones were so successful last season, because everyone was focusing on Bosa and Armstead.
Exactly. It's a good mix having those two. Both experienced. I mean, Clowney's been in the league 6-7 years now. Garrett's been there about 4 or 5 now, or maybe even 6. Very good.
I mean, just looking at the stats I've got for Garrett over there, he's got a fair amount of tackles to his name.
He does, yes. Look at what I've got on mine as well.
I just realised, did you use ESPN for your stats? Because I did. So
yes, I did indeed.
Good.
Jags.
Jags released ticket sales to Wembley.
Hospitality is today.
Yeah, hospitality
I mean,
is expensive.
are we going to remortgage our houses collectively to get one ticket?
Well, as I read, that's a bit difficult.
So do I. So
yeah, I've got random footballs rolling around in my back garden.
I'm effectively a squatter.
You're so surfing, mate, between your parents' houses. So yeah, obviously hospitality is out today. Season tickets are renewed 2019, so I should say season tickets. That's the last time we were at Wembley for an NFL game.
Which one are you excited about?
Oh yes, is renewed on Tuesday.
Is it 31st? Is it 31st?
Yeah, 31st, which is Tuesday. There is another Jags Union gets it mid-June.
Oh yeah, Union Jacks.
Union Jacks get it mid, and then general sale at the end of June if there's going to be any
June
available.
I
Obviously,
hope so because I want some. I want more.
I think there will be. Because I believe, off the top of my head, there was 30,000 season ticket holders. And I think Union Jacks, I reckon they've got about 20,000 as well. So there's going to be at least maybe 30,000 general tickets.
I think I'd be surprised if there's 20,000 Union Jacks.
Well, I've got two of them sat next to me. Not down here, but they always... No, actually, they sit me. Yeah, that side. To my right. They always sit.
I thought you meant Finn and Noah then for a minute.
No, I've got... Noah's a Chiefs fan and
Chiefs.
Finn Pirates, as he calls them.
Finn seems to change every week.
Pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
Last time I asked Finn, he told me he was a Broncos
fan. What do we make of the NFL looking at alternatives to the Pro Bowl?
Please, it's a waste of time at the moment.
Yeah,
it is a glorified flag game, isn't it?
I liked what you said, Ollie, about the skills.
Ollie.
Yeah.
On Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook about the skills show being kept. I actually enjoy the skills.
So I always watch a skill show down on YouTube the next day, but it's something I enjoy watching. What the dodgeball, the spectacular catches, Tyreek Hill losing the race, that was really funny.
Tyreek Hill barely getting into a jog to lose the race.
Yeah, but it's like an NBA All-Star game, the dunk challenge and the 3-point challenge and the dribbling thing, which name I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I enjoy that more than I enjoy the All-Star game.
Yeah, it's what one of the players did is let the players go to the senior games, coach the senior players. There's enough of you've got the Rose Bowl, you've obviously got the Senior Bowl, you've got all these bowl games. Let them go to these games.
Yeah, that was Jarvis Landry, wasn't it?
I don't think it was. It was a guy on the D. I can't remember which member of the players off the top of my head. But that's actually a good idea. Use these players' experience. Let them go and coach these younger kids, because a lot of these players could go into coaching afterwards. You know, there is a lot of players who are now coaches, or former players are now coaches. The name that springs to mind, obviously, is being Patriots, Jared Mayo. Hopefully, we'll be calling the plays this year on defensive. I hope, and they go, right, you're going to give you DC. So hopefully, it was something different. Give the players something different, especially Pro Bowl, because crying out, the poor kickers last year just sat there and did sod all.
Did nothing.
But
Matt's got a rushing TD.
Who were the coaches last year?
It was whoever lost. It was was it your lot?
It wasn't Shanahan.
It was who lost in the division. No, in the wildcard weekend.
Mike McCarthy?
No, it wasn't him. Can't remember off the top of my head. But it was teams who lost in the. It was Green Bay. Green Bay were one of them.
Oh yeah, LaFleur.
And He had the quarterback. It was
Vrabel?
yes, Vrabel's the other one.
Because George Kittle tried to FaceTime Shanahan on the sideline. He didn't pick up, so he FaceTime Mike McDaniel.
As you do.
And just checking it out, just like, did you see I scored? And Mike McDaniel's like, yes, I was watching.
It's brilliant. I mean, I love the fun aspect they have, and the players enjoy the digs on digs, switch it around.
Yeah, I just remember George Kittle was like, "Wow, he actually rushed." And he was blocking Max Crosby.
Yeah.
He's like, "Wow, I actually rushed. I need to go off and have a break."
It's nice to see them having fun, not having the convicts.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
good to see the fun side of the game. You know, them just playing. What does Adam Sandler say in Longest Yard? High school playground shit.
Yeah, high school playground bullshit.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's that sort of stuff is fun, but there's got to be a better use of it's for me a Pro Bowl. To be announced for the Pro Bowl should be an honor.
Agreed.
And, you know, yeah, it is. I mean, I know that we had Vikes when Justin Jefferson got made.
Take that, Ollie.
I remember his office and it's a work phone.
Yeah. When Justin Jefferson got announced as a Pro Bowler for the second time, Randy Moss came and told him, and you know those moments are good, and that shows how prestigious it is. But the game itself,
bollocks.
Let's face it, the game does not live up to the hype and the honor of being a Pro Bowler.
No, I remember this year. It was on the day I got back from Berlin.
Yes.
And I landed late and I couldn't get a train back because there were issues with the train. So I got to my hotel room and I had there was a movie on. I can't remember what the movie was. And I was like, I could watch this movie or I could watch the Pro Bowl. I chose the movie.
Yeah. Not many people watch the Pro Bowl. I must admit, I have it on. I had it on this year because Kelly came around, so we watched it. Because obviously Kelly's new to NFL, so it's going on that one. I would have it on the background if there's nothing else on, you know. But I'm not overly fussed about the Pro Bowl, and I'm not saying that I only had it on because Kelly came around. Trying to dig myself out of that hole now.
I wonder if Kelly has something to say about that because I know she's watching.
Yeah, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the Pro Bowl? What would your alternatives be? Let us know in the comments. And we're moving on to one of our regular viewers' teams now, the Raiders. Now,
hi John, are you watching?
I was going to. Hi John, yeah.
Hola.
I'm going to let Ollie Mr. Hope take this one because obviously Colin Kaepernick is working on a workout with the Raiders. The last team he played for was of our very own Mr. Hope's 49ers.
Led them to a Super Bowl, shall we add?
Yes, he got to the Super Bowl. Ollie, what's your thoughts on Kaepernick's potential return to the NFL?
Yes, Kaepernick does lead us to a Super Bowl. He also led us to the conference game the season after. But that was under Jim Harbaugh, who I think is one of the best coaches around.
Second.
If you look at him under some other coaches, Jim Tomsula, Chip Kelly.
Yeah, but Chip Kelly's not that good anyway.
Yeah, neither Jim Tomsula.
Exactly.
I think we had 2-14 under Tomsula and about 4-12 under Kelly.
I want to add something to this.
However,
Go on.
I think Josh McDaniels is better than Chip Kelly and better than John Tomsula. So I think in the right scheme with the right coaching, he could be a good quarterback. And I feel like there are some teams, I'm not saying the Raiders is one of them, there are some teams where I think he could challenge for the starting role. However, I do not think Las Vegas is one of them.
I'm going to add to this. We shouldn't be having this conversation.
Yes.
No.
Colin Kaepernick shouldn't been admitted from this league. Colin Kaepernick stood up for his beliefs. He started the kneeling movement. It went round literally at one point. Okay, yes, it was more after George Floyd's passing. Literally, the whole NFL was. But he started that 6-7 years ago now. He was the one who kneeled for the anthem. He had a couple of all his teammates did it with him. All because Donald Trump literally said he is doing it against the flag. He didn't go to Colin Kaepernick going, can I just ask what your reasons for doing this? Colin Kaepernick was never doing this against the flag. He was never doing it against the US forces. He was doing it against in racial injustice, against his
racism.
Yeah, racism, police brutality against minorities. He was doing it for causes, nothing against the thing. And Trump literally twisted the hand of the NFL owners to get this guy to get kicked out of the team, out of the league. And he has been working solidly for the last 6-7 years to get back in the NFL. We should not have been having this conversation. Colin Kaepernick is a good enough player to still be in this league. As Ollie said,
I agree with that.
He took a good 49ers team to the Super Bowl. He took them to a conference final as well the following year. He is good enough quarterback to do that. Like Ollie said, in the right scheme, under the right coaching system, he would do a very, very good job, and probably would get a team to the playoffs again.
I don't think he would get a team to the playoffs. I think he's old now and he's lost the speed and power he had. But yes, I do still think he's a good enough quarterback to push for a starting role in this.
Have any of you, out of interest, read some of the comments on the various news outlets?
I haven't, but I got a feeling they're very 50-50.
I'm going to go off again. Obviously, my team is Minnesota. We all know what the anniversary of is this week. I'm just going to put this out there. Eric Kendricks visited the memorial site of the George Floyd incident. And again, so much hatred, so much anger towards Kendrick, towards the Vikes organization, towards the NFL for allowing the Vikes situation to do this. It's still gonna. I'm gonna be really honest here. Colin Kaepernick is going to come back to just as much, if not more, hate and anger because of people like Donald Trump, because of people like the Republican Party, because of idiots. And it's in. I'm not gonna say this is just an American problem because it's not. The UK are just as bad when, we've seen the outrage, the faux outrage that people had when the football team took the knee, when the chief constable of Manchester said he was only going to take the knee to the Queen. The Queen and his wife, apparently. It's. Excuse my language here. It's fucking ridiculous. But
that's not you to excuse your language.
But I know, yeah. But people like Colin Kaepernick need to be in the league, and this stuff. I mean, there's been arguments that it's a publicity stunt. It probably is. But yeah, it's what happens. It's this league. It's this situation, this place that we're living at the moment, is full of hate and anger. On to something a bit more positive now. And I'm baffled at this decision, but maybe you guys might be able to enlighten me. The NFL are looking into their own streaming deal. Now, forgive me if I am completely missing the point here, but I pay £100 for Game Pass every year, and it has NFL originals, it has network, it has the games, it has original content. Isn't that a streaming service?
So what it is they will show live games. In America, you can't stream. A streaming service. Game Pass doesn't have live games in America. You can't see it.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't
So
know
this
that.
is what I've read. This is what I've heard. It may be incorrect because obviously I'm UK based, not American based. I'll find out in a few months.
I'm sure I used Game Pass when I was in America, but then again, I think that was for the Sunday night games, so that might be different.
So from what I understand, they will be showing obviously the games because obviously every network shows their region, but they don't show the other games. So obviously, say you're in New England and you're a Raiders fan, you won't be able to see a Raiders game, for example. So that's what it is. This is what my understanding is. We have Game Pass over here because it is run via Sky as well.
Hence, we do have it blacked out some games.
Hence, the Sky games are blacked out. That is the reason, because Sky are the controlling people of it. If I'm correct, please correct me if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, that's good.
But that is the reason why they're doing it over there. I believe it is going to be an American site mainly. We won't be able to get it over here, from what I understand.
We don't need it, do we? Really, we've got Game Pass. Like I said,
we have Game Pass.
£100 a year.
I do actually remember reading about this a couple of weeks, maybe months ago, just after the season ended, but I didn't think much of it, and now this seems to have come back.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to be really, really positive about the NFL now, because Game Pass, I think, is fantastic. I'm also a hockey fan, and we spend a similar amount on Game Center, which effectively has all the games. It has all the in two different feeds, so you get the home feed and the away feed. But you don't get anything else.
Yeah, that's similar to League Pass for the NBA.
Yeah.
Me and Ollie are currently disagreeing over the NBA.
I've actually picked my my NBA team.
I think what you mean is that, isn't it? It's not 4-3 yet.
Yes, we haven't played 7 games yet.
I've actually picked my NBA team, but I'll tell you about that after the show. No.
And Ollie was saying Miami don't lose at home, and what did Boston go to do?
Yeah, well, we've not lost in the conference final under this coach, so it's not over yet. We've beaten you once away. We'll beat you twice away.
Hey, we very rarely lose a TD.
If anyone didn't think they needed a warm up before the Nick Bosa Chase Young chat, here we are.
Give it away, Tom.
Oh. It's bloody obvious. If anyone's listening to this show.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, this is a bit more. I mean, we had a long discussion about this. A bit of a discussion about this, not a long one. But we thought.
I don't think it's more of a discussion. I think we were just agreed it was the right thing to do.
How far we should go into it. Because we know what I'm like when it comes to injustice and stupid decisions about law. So the NFL this week, Texas, there has been another school shooting. I'm going to say another one because I think there's been 27 school shootings this year already.
221 mass shootings in 145 days now it is.
Yeah. The NFL have had an outpour from both teams, officials, fans, and more importantly, players.
Yeah, as it should. The players should use their voice and their platform to campaign for things such as gun control.
Yes, I'm gonna give a massive, massive shout out to RG3 because for me, he hit the nail on the head. And I would like to commend NFL players because you get told so many times on Facebook and Twitter and social media, keep politics out of sport. No. Use your platform. Use your mouth. Use your massive, massive microphone that you've got in front of your face to highlight. And it's the same with Colin Kaepernick. He did that. He used his platform and he lost his job.
I mean, look at Steve Kerr. I know you're not a basketball fan, Tom, but Ollie, I know you've seen what Steve Kerr had to say.
Or Sean, as I called him.
Yes, Sean Kerr, as Ollie likes to call him. But if you've not seen his press conference, he sat in front of the media 2 hours before a game and said, I'm not talking about basketball. Gave a 2-minute speech about how gun control is needed and how the senators aren't doing enough, and then walked out.
Agreed. Jimmy Kimmel, who's like the Late Show, has gone, this is enough. Even senators have gone, enough. This is enough now. You know, they are going, this is enough. But when kids that are my eldest son's age, 10, are getting murdered by an 18-year-old who can go and buy the equivalent of an AK-47, enough is enough. It has to stop now. It has to stop. And we are going to
have a moment's silence.
Have a moment's silence, yes.
So, on to the next thing.
Yeah, I believe we are going to do the division preview. Now,
let's get
so and I know these two have been working away like little badgers because
yes,
they have weekends. I mean, I know OBH has kids, but I work nights, so I should have been on this, but unfortunately, it's been mental.
So basically, I had the great idea of rather than let's dedicate a division and do that, I decided that we should spin a wheel, which means that me and OBH have done all 8 division prep, and are going to have to scramble to find our notes for the division that is chosen. We've grouped them together and just got North, South, East, and West. So it'll be one AFC and one NFC. But we honestly have no idea which divisions we're going to be doing today.
This is going to be fun, guys.
Yes.
Last year we couldn't do this because it was
on Spotify.
It was Anchor, wasn't it?
Spotify. So we couldn't use fancy gadgets and gadgets and gizmos to do this. So I believe, Mr. OBH, you have got the wheel of destiny or doom.
I do. So let me share my screen very quickly. Bear with me. So here we go. Share screen.
Sorry, my partner's got Rasmus in the background.
Right. Are we ready, gentlemen? 3. I'll make sure I spelled it all right first. Division we are going for. Oh, it's Thomas's division.
Oh, we're going in early, are we?
Let's I'm going to remove that one because that'll be there for next time. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Right, are we ready, gentlemen?
Bear with me. Just let me find my notes.
Shall we go? Shall we do it in alphabetical order? Shall we go AFC then NFC?
Yeah, let's go AFC North.
Give Tom a little bit of time to write some notes down.
I don't need to write notes, but I'm fine. So the AFC North last season, it was a bit of a shock, a bit of a crazy one because, well,
my prediction went well.
Yeah. So
it was a bit of a shock.
Runner up.
Yes.
Are we going to start with Cincy?
Yes, I think we should. Yes, right. So, does anybody disagree
team.
that their best player is Joe Burrows?
I
No.
think you can put a certain wide receiver in that conversation.
Yes, yes. It did cross my mind to write Jamar Chase, but I decided that Joe Burrows is the best.
Yeah,
I'd
go with that.
because what Joe Burrows did, the fact that he had no O-line, shall we say, O-line was like turnstiles, and managed to drag them to the Super Bowl. I mean, he was sacked 9 times against Tennessee, and he still won the game.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was probably helped with like Tannehill literally throwing the ball to them 3 times, literally in the first play of the game.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a unusual statement. I think their most important. I'm gonna say person. I'm gonna go with Zach Taylor. He has.
I could see that.
He has transformed that team into a number 1 and number 2 pick successive years into being a Super Bowl runner-up. And let's not beat around the bush. If it hadn't been for Aaron Donald holding up, literally saying, "You are not taking my ring off me," and holding up that player on the 4th and 1, I think it was.
Pretty much.
I think we could have been looking at a very different outcome.
I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but Burrows had his first public interview since the Super Bowl, and they asked him about that 4th and 1 play where Jalen Ramsey slipped and had he had Jamar Chase open.
Yeah.
And he I can't remember what he said, but he answered it very well, basically saying we've moved on. We're focusing on this season.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it another way. This is the first time Joe Burrows has lost a playoff game, college, high school, and professional football. They've drafted well as well. They have gone really well in free agency. They're bringing Alex Cappa, the guard from, I can't remember off the top of my head, Ted Karras.
It was from Tampa Bay.
Tampa, that was it. Ted Karras is from New England. So they've shored up the O-line. They've drafted a couple of really good O-linemen as well.
So the two big additions I had them was Kappa from Tampa Bay and Lyle Collins from Dallas.
I've got Ted Karras from New England, but yeah. But they draft really well. I mean, they took Money Mack in 4th round, and he won the game.
Was it 4th? I thought it was 5th.
I think it was 4th. It might have been 4th or 5th. It was that segment area.
Yeah, it was day 3.
Well. They do have the 3rd hardest schedule.
Yes, they do.
5.36 or 0.536 is
honestly looking at the other teams in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them struggling against any of those teams.
I genuinely think that Bengals are better than Pittsburgh, better than Cleveland, and better than Baltimore. I don't think you can look past them to winning the division again.
Just out of interest, Ollie, what do you think their big losses are? Because I've got 2 names written down.
Fred Johnson, offensive tackle, and their 2 O-line, Trey Hopkins.
I've got Larry Ogunjobi.
CJ's been the other one?
And CJ Azoma.
And I was going to say Azoma because I think he was. I mean, everyone has seen the Pep Rally where he came and ripped off his knee brace. I think he was such a big part of their success last year, and he was Burrow's go-to tight end. I think it's going to be so. I mean, obviously you take one out, but then you look at Mixon, you look at Chase, you look at Higgins, you look at Boyd. They've still got those weapons, but I still think that loss at the tight end is going to be a big one.
Well, they did bring in Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
But here's my big question. Will they suffer from Super Bowl hangover?
I don't think they're a team that will struggle with a Super Bowl hangover.
Let's face it, they didn't expect to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters. I think everybody suffers from a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover.
They will struggle the first 3 or 4 games. I can't remember their schedule off the top of my head, but I know it's a difficult one. I think they'll just because of that, getting back into it, they have less time and they've lost. They've not got that ring, and then they'll snap into it, and I think they'll be fine from there. I reckon.
Okay. Do you have a prediction of wins and losses? Because I've got them at 12-5.
I haven't got that one down. I can't remember their schedule, but yeah, I think a 12-5 is doable.
And I have them winning the division.
Yeah, they'll go there. We'll do divisional predictions afterwards. Shall we move on to
Pittsburgh next? I've got Pittsburgh down next.
Second. Yes.
Okay, so the big thing is, how will they do without Big Ben?
I reckon they'll do better without Big Ben. Ben Roethlisberger retired 2 seasons too late. My personal opinion. Okay, yes, he was injured season 4 last. Last season, by the end of it, he was literally held to tape with gaffer tape and bloody WD-40.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've drafted in Mitch Trubisky, that more mobile quarter. No, sorry, brought in
Trubisky and drafted Kenny Pickett.
Obviously, they've had the very sad news of Dwayne Haskins passing a couple of months ago. That might hurt them a bit more because he was loved around the franchise apparently, and he was obviously with Mitch Trubisky and all that lot and the wide receivers when he passed, and Najee Harris,
who
looks an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Losing Big Ben, I think there's bigger Big Bens that are losing. I think Juju's a bigger loss.
I was going to say, who are your 2 big losses? I've got Big Ben and Juju.
My 2 big losses out are Big Ben and Juju.
I think Big Ben for his leadership and his personality. Juju for his explosiveness, his catching ability, and his TikTok dancing.
And I've got a question for both of you, actually.
Yeah.
And I know we might get onto this a bit later, but do you think TJ Watt can break his own sack record?
Yes. I think he's their best player.
He should have He should have got a full sack instead of half a sack. I must have changed it now.
I have TJ Watt down as their best player.
Brian Flores is big for them.
Yes. He's
don't think he's another one who shouldn't be out of a job. He was made Miami better and better. It'd be interesting to see what Mike McDaniel can do when he's there, but we'll get to that when we get to the East. Brian Flores having that defensive mind with that defense, who are a good defense anyway, I think that could be really, really good, personally.
But do you have them coming second in this division? Because I don't.
No.
We'll cross that line.
I have them down going 9-8 and coming third in the division.
Ooh, you got 9. Ooh, 9.
They got a draw though, didn't they, against the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, that is the one game that I am convinced, and you can't convince me otherwise. Neither team wanted to win that game.
Yeah.
No, and neither team wanted to lose. They were going for that
players for them this year, by the way. I've got Harris, and I know I slated him in last season, and I'm going to do it if he does it ever again. Chase Claypool. I think he could be a good wide receiver. His attitude stinks, though. His attitude absolutely reeks. And if he lives up to his potential and lives up to his ability, even, I'm not going to say potential, he's got the ability. If he does that, then he could be one hell of a wide receiver. He is one hell of a wide receiver. His attitude, though, stinks. If he keeps on getting flags for taunting, if he keeps on doing absolutely pathetic poses when there's less than 30 seconds on the clock. 20 seconds on the clock.
And you do a 12-second celebration.
Ben takes about 20 seconds to get himself set up. And what does he do? Just stand there.
Yeah, I mean, He's a second year, so he should know better than that by now. He's now going to his third year. He's got to perform this year, otherwise because he wasn't the first round, so he won't get his fifth year option anyway.
No.
He had, like you said, he's got the potential. He's a very good wide receiver. He can take that field from Juju. He can be that WR1.
Do you think he can?
I think he's got the potential to be that WR1.
I think Claypool...
Najee Harris will have a lot of plays going from Najee Harris.
I personally think Claypool is a mid to top WR2 at best.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I feel like he needs a Juju, or not now, but prime Antonio Brown ahead of him.
Oh, he's going to retire a Steeler. Apparently, he wants to. Not play, just retire.
I could see it. They'll sign him as a one day. Look, here's one day. Go and talk to that idiot there and tell him to behave first. And then we'll let you.
Antonio Brown in 2017 and 2018 was incredible for the Steelers.
He was unplayable. Looked like he had Gorilla Glue attached to his gloves. Wherever the ball was, it was stuck to him. He was impressive.
Well,
until
when they
had that hit, until he had that massive hit, which literally wiped him out, he was unplayable. Ever since that hit, he's not been the same, which is a real shame.
Just while we're on the 2017-2018 Steelers, the other player that's been very disappointing after leaving the Steelers, Le'Veon Bell, but let's not move on to that now.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
He was also credible for the Steelers.
Shall we move on to third place before moving on to the biggest disappointment of 2021, in my
opinion?
Cleveland lost Ollie, one of his predictions.
Hang on, there's a little asterisk next to my name there that says I still won prediction last year.
Which one of us won Tom's player quiz? Just remind me, Ollie. Somebody's got a bit quiet, haven't they?
Hang on, I got an answer before he finished the question.
So what was the final score? Wasn't it 8-2?
No.
Yeah.
It was more like 8-6.
Yeah, it was 8-6 or something like that. He came back. Cleveland have signed. Can we just get out the elephant in the room? They have made probably one of the most controversial signings in a long time in Deshaun Watson.
What makes this controversial is not the fact that they've signed him because he's had these cases going on in his background. Not because he's not played football for a year, because of his guaranteed $253 million.
Yes.
It's a 5-year deal. That is $50 million a year plus. And they weren't even sure if he was going to play the first season. It looks like he's only missed 3 or 4 games.
Amazingly.
Somehow. I mean, Cleveland have the 17th hardest schedule. So they're one of the easiest. 16th, 15th easiest schedule, whichever we're going to put it. Losing Jarvis Landry, so they've lost possibly WR1 and WR2 over this season gone in Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. They've lost Austin Hooper, which was their tight end, their second tight end behind Andrew.
They've lost their centre in JC Tretter.
They have. Yes, they brought in Amari Cooper for ridiculously low picks, a 4th and a 5th. Amari Cooper is not a 4th and a 5th. It should have been at least a 2nd. They traded Winovich from Patriots for their linebacker, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Who Winovich looks completely different. He does. He's like shaved. He's got short hair, and he's shaved his beard up, and he's tanked the out of that.
Well, aren't you glad that he shaves there? Because he wouldn't have been. Your Winovich has long curls.
I won't say what Kelly said when she saw a picture of him. Post haircut.
Just out of interest, Ollie, who do you think is Cleveland's best player? I've got Nick Chubb down.
I'm thinking if we get 2020 Deshaun Watson, it will be 2020 Deshaun Watson.
But are we going to get that? Let's
That
be
is the
really,
issue.
really honest.
Don't forget, yes, they've got Chubb. Yes, they've got Kareem Hunt. Yes, they've got Njoku. And they've still got Baker in that offensive office, in that quarterback office. They've got Jacoby.
I don't think they'll have Baker for much longer.
Who knows? Who knows what is going on there? The rumor is that Cleveland are willing to pay some of Baker's salary cap to get him out the door. Baker wants to leave. Is he gonna help?
Yes.
Is this Deshaun Watson issue going to hang over them and destroy their season? Is Baker Mayfield hanging around in the office, in the QB room, on the practice field, going to ruin this season for them again? I've got the Cleveland finishing bottom in the division.
I have Cleveland finishing bottom of the division, 7-10.
I haven't got a thing. I've just bottom division. There is too much up in the air.
Drama.
Too much off. I mean, compare them to what Oakland Raiders did last year when they had so much shit going off the field, so many idiotics going off the field.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Yes.
But let's not forget,
Of
Vegas
course.
still made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cleveland had a straight season. Yes, they had a drama with Odell Beckham. They had an injured quarterback for all season, from week 2 onwards. Yet they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, I mean,
They've now got these off-field dramas going on. I don't see them making the playoffs, and I could see, and I don't think they've got a strong enough head coach to keep it in check.
While we're talking about injured quarterbacks, that brings us beautiful into Baltimore.
It does.
Yes.
And I got down as the little story. How good are the Ravens healthy?
The problem is the Ravens. They've got a stretch of from mid-September. So our week 3, they've got us in Foxborough. New England, the first 4 weeks are always hit and miss, because they're trying to work out what they are. They've then got to play Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, 5 games on the bounce.
That is a tough stretch of games.
That is an awful stretch of games. They've got no Hollywood. That is a massive loss for them. A big, big, big loss. Yes, they brought in Calais Campbell on the defensive side of the ball, which is a brilliant, brilliant acquisition.
He was already there, wasn't he?
They re-brought him back in then, I apologise, which is a massive one. They've drafted really well, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and they've got a really good O-lineman.
I've tried to steer clear of draft picks on my 2 big additions, but I have put Kyle Hamilton down.
I was going to say, I think Kyle Hamilton is going to be a massive player for their season. Yeah. He should tell you who he should be a massive player for.
The Vikings.
Yeah, he should be a massive player for the Vikings, but unfortunately, no, I'm not going to say unfortunately. I'm not shitting on Lewis Cine. I think I've watched a bit of his tape. I've watched him in OTAs. I think he looked pretty good, but
the unofficial draft charts I've seen of your team, Tom, he's number 1 strong safety.
Yeah,
Lowest Cine at the moment.
I mean, the other big addition I have is Marcus Williams, I believe cornerback.
Yes.
Was he a safety?
Needs DB. I just like DB. Yes, you get corners and safeties, but you do get them. You get starting to get these hybrid DBs now, which I think Carl Hamilton will be, which Sauce will be, Sin will be. These new age DBs are coming in to be more hybrid, the same as linebackers are starting to come and be.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Sin, he did make it into my rookie team.
He made it into mine as well. I do like what they are doing in Baltimore. They've got the 23rd easiest schedule at 0.474. I never know how they work that out, but that's what it is.
I know how they work it out.
It's good. Go on, explain. Enlighten me, please.
So they just take an average of all of the teams that are playing record last season.
Fair enough. You made it sound so much easier than I actually made it.
Yeah.
Shall we do some predictions before we go on to Tom's division?
Yeah.
Who do we have? Tom going to. Kelly has just put a comment in.
She said she looked forward to seeing Kyle Hamilton in Foxborough.
I'm not, because I think he'll stop our wide routes. Tom.
I am going to go Cincy.
Yep.
I'm going to go Baltimore second.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Cleveland bottom, and that leaves Pittsburgh third.
Me, I think we're all going to go Cincinnati number 1.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 2. I think that stretch of 5 games is a very big stretch of 5 games and going to be really difficult for them to overcome. So, yeah, I am going to go Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland.
I've got Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland. I've got records too if you want to hear them.
No, you don't need to give us that one, mate. On to the NFC, which I'm trying to find my paperwork. There it is, done.
Shall we start with the winners of the last year's division, and let's start in Wisconsin?
Yes, in the green and yellow of Green Bay.
So Tom, who do you have as the green and yellow's best player? I have a certain player with 12 on his back down.
Do you? That's a shot.
Do.
I am going. I mean, you're gonna make me say it. Yeah, he's all right.
I'm going to clip that and I'm going to put that.
I'm going to go with Jordan Love. He's a fantastic quarterback. He deserves more chances.
The only player I'd accept you were saying would have been Aaron Jones.
Well, yeah.
The thing
Aaron
is,
Jones.
Green Bay now.
They've had to get rid of. I mean, let's face it, they've had to get rid of everyone else because they've been pissed off by Aaron Rodgers.
The issue is in Green Bay is not that Aaron Rodgers is getting paid a stupid amount of money, who probably only played 2 years. Aaron Rodgers has this reputation of not trusting rookie wide receivers, only trusting players he knows.
His old friends, yeah.
Green Bay's offense is now going to go for Aaron Jones, same as Pittsburgh and Najee Harris.
And the only let's face it, the only reason why they're not going to be throwing it to these perfectly good wide receivers is because Aaron Jones has pissed off the only other viable wide receiver.
You mean Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Devontae.
Devontae Adams is really good friends with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did ask him to stay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But because Aaron Rodgers took $50 million a year, there isn't the cap space to do that. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't. I don't want to be there. Yes, they've drafted really well in Watt, Walker, and Watson. So they've got their first 3 picks were really, really good picks.
And don't forget they did sign Sammy Watkins too.
He's probably not even going to make week 1, but that's a different story altogether. And they stole that pick from you guys. Sorry, but you should have taken them to the bank and literally withdrawn their farm on that, let alone the house. I want your farm for that. They are your biggest rivals in this division.
Yeah, a bit like what happened with me in our fantasy football league for the first pick overall.
Yes. You've got to take them to the house for that. They are your biggest rivals. You are the closest to beating them this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, we'll get to that in the.
They've got a very easy schedule. Green Bay. They've only got the 22nd hardest schedule. You've got the 20th hardest schedule in the division.
Yeah,
but something we've not talked about is they've lost quite a lot of their defense too, like Zadarius Smith, who I think is a massive loss.
And where did he go to?
Yes, I've got him down as one of the big additions in Vikings.
I have as well. That's funny, that as well, because
I think that guy, watching his tape. Anyway, we'll get on to him in a bit. But
I put him down as the biggest loss, and Devontae Adams a massive loss. And yes, as I said, there is massive holes now in this defense. Okay, they filled it with what? They filled it with Walker.
Yeah, they spent a load of money on Jay Alexander also.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask you
a really good corner.
This is going to be. I think people don't realize how big of a loss this is going to be. I think that them coming over to London is potentially a massive disaster for them. I know that they're going to make the money from ticket sales, and merch. They're gonna have people literally falling over themselves for tickets.
But losing a game at Lambeau.
But they are losing a game at Lambeau, and everyone knows that Lambeau is a very, very difficult place to go unless it's the snow and you wear red and gold.
Someone turn the fan return on video?
No.
Video?
Yes, but they are not playing in Lambeau in December, in January, in late November, when it is stupidly cold.
Yeah,
they're losing Lambeau
in January anyway.
They're losing Lambeau, a regular game in Lambeau in October. In the middle of October. It is. They are still. You see people selling T-shirts in Lambeau in middle of October. So it's not. They don't get this massive advantage of playing teams late in the season in Lambeau when it is stupidly cold and literally you hold a bottle and it freezes.
Yeah. Shall we move quickly on to the purple side of I'm gonna be really honest. I mean, I was really open with you guys last year. I wasn't expecting much from that.
Do we still have the Zimmer banner?
We don't have it anymore, but yeah.
I've actually written that down. My Minnesota's out. Zimmer. That is your biggest out, not because it's been your head coach for years.
Zimmer out.
Yeah, I think it's going. I think that was a big call to get rid of Spielman as well, because I mean we've got a rookie head coach and a rookie GM. I think it could work. I mean, every time I see both of them talk, I get excited because, you guys and a lot of people have questioned the draft strategy. I'm happy with what we've got. I mean, Lewis Cine, I think, having looked at his tape, having looked at what he has done on the training field so far, I know it's not a massive yardstick for talent, but I mean, the guy is a quality player, and he was, from what we are led to believe on certain footage in the draft room, which they've released, seen it was sort of a Vontae Mack no matter what situation. They wanted Cine since the interviews, and they wanted Booth Jr. Now, we should have taken Green Bay to the cleaners for it, but we've got Aaron Booth Jr., which I think he's going to be a great CB. He's not Sauce, he's not Stingley, but we'll see what happens with him.
So, my friend who's just a Vikings fan has just sent me a text.
Yeah,
I just texted him saying, any comments on the Vikings? He just said, we're going to do loads better this year.
Yeah, I think we are. I think that I'm excited to see what happens with Jefferson, but I'm excited to see what happens with KJ Osborne as well. The guy had a great season last season. This season, I think he's going to be even better. We've got Smith Marissette, who's going to be a big player. We've got.
He actually echoes you too, Tom, saying he likes the new head coach and GM.
Yeah, I like Zadarius Smith as well. I think he is going to be an absolute beast.
And when we signed him, offensive plays as well in the huddle, he goes, right, they're going to play this play, and they can line up against it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's given captaincy, so he has the plays called into his head against Green Bay. I would quite happily go to the bookies and go, can I have a 5 on Minnesota to win division?
I don't have
I'm getting
Minnesota to win the division.
back if we win.
I do not have Minnesota down to win the division.
Shall we go on to
I think it'll be close, but I don't think they will.
Okay, I'm going to ask you what you think our biggest losses were, but yeah.
I had Everson Griffin and Tyler Conklin down.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I had Conklin. I think I was really good when he went.
Conklin's big. Chicago.
Yes.
Where do we start with Chicago? It's not as bad as Detroit.
I mean, they have a lot of speed.
They do have a lot of speed.
But they've lost a very, very big character in their defense.
Khalil Mack. That is massive
loss. I think not just Khalil Mack. They also lost Akeem Hicks.
Yes.
Both
But
players dominated against Vikings in the last in both games. They were unfortunate to lose at Soldier Field, but Hicks and it was a bit like whack-a-mole. If we kept Hicks quiet, Matt came, and then if we kept Matt quiet, Hicks found a way through the defense. The O-line.
I mean, it says all he said earlier. Having 2 top quality defensive players makes it very hard. And I mean, not just those 2; they also had Robert Quinn. But we'll get to that. I think we're going to get to that today, but we have been talking for a while.
We'll still do it. They do have the 24th most difficult schedule. So, 8th easiest schedule in the league? Is it going to be enough to get them close enough to Minnesota and Green Bay?
I don't think they are close. I don't think they're going to be close enough to us. Either team. I think the safe bet would be Green Bay and Minnesota either way. I think one of us are going to win the league division. Sorry. I think both London games for both teams are going to be huge. Yeah. Don't forget, Vikings don't have a bye week until 2 weeks after the London game.
Do they not?
No.
Okay.
The thing is, though, are they going to beat Detroit to third in the division? I think.
Yes, I have them down to.
No.
I don't. I think Detroit will beat them.
Yeah. I think Detroit have made some great signings in the offseason, drafted well.
Detroit have drafted the 2 best players in each position, in wide receiver and defensive player on defensive line. Detroit have got the easiest, 28th hardest schedule, so the 4th easiest schedule. We will get to the NFC East, all 4 teams have the 4th easiest schedule. It's ridiculous. But they do have the 28th hardest, so the 5th easiest schedule.
Detroit do have 2 players that I really like. And they're both on
running back.
DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
And TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. I like TJ Hawkinson, the tight end.
They're both, and they brought in another player that I really like in DJ Chark.
The wide receiver.
Yes. So I feel like they have 1 good running back, 1 good wide receiver, 1 good tight end, but not much else on offense. And I'm not sure how much I trust Jared Goff.
We've said this before about Jared Goff. Jared Goff will get to that level. That's why LA Rams we're going to go Matt Stafford. Who took them to the next level? If they had, let's go and get, for example, Derek Carr, for example. He's another step. You could expect them to take another jump with Derek Carr.
Over Matt Stafford or over Jared Goff?
I'm just giving that kind of example. Over Jared Goff.
Okay.
That kind of example.
So I think
Jared Goff will take to the level.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait until next draft to draft a QB in that draft.
I don't think there'll be a bottom 5 draft pick this year.
No, I don't.
For me, I think the Lions are one of the favorites to get draft pick 1.
They're not for me.
No.
I think it's going to Houston, but we'll get that when we do the South.
I think it could go to Houston, but I think the Lions have got to be up there.
Lions will be. I I have a sneaky feeling Lions will get 5. Will be outside the top 5.
I think the Lions are nailed on to be top 5, maybe nailed on to be top 3.
But I like what they're doing in Detroit.
I do like what they're doing.
I like their head coach. I'm really looking forward to seeing their Hard Knocks. To see how they train camp. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing Hutch. Looking forward to seeing Jameson play.
I'm with you.
Same as you.
I think the Lions have pieces, but I don't think their rebuild's far enough on yet for them not to be a top 3 pick next year.
They are a year behind New York. They are a year, or probably 3 or 4 years now, behind Miami. Those teams have Miami especially is in a win now process.
Yes.
Detroit, I think because they've got the 20 schedule, they will get a slightly higher draft pick than you're thinking. That's the only reason I'm going to say they're probably going to be 6th or 7th. They're not going to be wow, but I think I have them to beat Chicago in their division.
Shall we have predictions with that being said? I'm going to go with OBH first. What are your predictions?
You're going to love me for this one. I reckon it's going to be Minnesota. Tom's George just hit the ground. Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago.
Ollie? I've got it exactly the same as it was this year. Packers, Vikings, Bears, Detroit.
Okay, I'm going to go... I've got to back my competitive rebuild, guys. I am going to go with Vikings, Packers. I hear what both of you are saying, but for me, I think the losses in the defense for Chicago are too big. I'm going to go Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah,
I think Chicago could be in the top 5 draft picks. I am going to have to love you and leave you. I've got work to prepare for. So I'm going to leave you in these two capables. Guys,
he just doesn't want to be involved in the argument.
Guys, it's sort of like, I'm done. This is where Daddy goes. This is where I'm going to leave the kids. You two can argue. Right, all I can say to our viewers is enjoy the show because it's going to be a fucking good one. See you later, guys.
Bye,
Have
Thomas.
Bye.
I noticed Ollie suddenly sat up. We have got a new segment, so we are going to run this, as long as there's not many arguments, for a few weeks. I'm going to leave it at that. So we are going to have a top 5. So we choose top 5 different weeks. This week, let's start off with a bang because he loves one player and I love another player, even though I've not picked him in my top 5. We are going for top.
Oh, you kicked him out, have you? Because you told me 6 players.
I've narrowed it down. I'm going for it. But top 5 pass rushers in the league.
So just to illustrate, this isn't defensive linemen. I've got 2 linebackers who also pass rush in there.
That's fine. Anyone who has a pass rushing stat. So that is sacks, tackles. I've put down forced fumbles, fumble recoveries.
I've got tackles, solo tackles, sacks, and forced fumbles.
Oh, I put the tackles all together. I couldn't be asked to try and work out individual tackles. Yeah, whatever. I think we've got a reasonably the same numbers on this one. People on this one. I think we've got the same order roughly.
So I have a number 1. Most of you probably think Bosa. I don't. I have TJ Watt.
Yeah, I've gone for that. 72 sacks in 77 games is an incredible stat. So 294 combined tackles.
Yes, but in 2021, 64 tackles, 48 solo, 23.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 22 forced fumbles in his career. This guy is better than his brother and is an absolute beast.
One thing he's got over his brother, he stays healthy.
Yes.
We love JJ in this show. We've said it several times. What he does off the field, he is a leader, but there's disadvantage of JJ. This is probably why he's not in my list. I don't know if he's in our list or not, because of his his injury proneness.
I
like me,
did want to. There were two people of brothers in this list that I wanted to find a place for, but I
Joey?
couldn't. And JJ Watt was somebody I wanted to put in, but I couldn't.
This is where I think we are going to have a slight difference.
Well, as long as you don't put Chase Young at number 2, we're good.
I haven't put Chase Young in my 5 because he's really only played one season because he missed 12 games of last season. So I couldn't bring up his stats for that.
I think me and you, I think this argument stems from, I think it was the second episode ever.
Yep, pretty much. Have a listen to that on Spotify. It is basically...
And number 2, I have number 97.
I don't. I have the dog pound. I have Myles Garrett, and I think you've got him at 3. I mean,
I've got him at 4, actually.
He's played 4 seasons, 68 games, 58.5 sacks, 203 tackles. He is one of the most double-teamed pass rushers in the league. In fact, probably most of these players that I'm going to say 10 players we've been talked about over the last weeks. He's very much double-teamed, but he always manages to get to the quarterback every game. He is massive. He has always had this chip on the shoulder. He's always gone, who doesn't pick me number 1, I'm going to make their life hell. And he has done.
Garrett did get picked at 1, though.
But he's made every other team's life hell. Every other 31 team's life hell. He was a very, very good pick. A very, very good player. He is a younger version. I'm going to say of Aaron Donald. I keep saying that, of Aaron Donald. He's a very good player. Big, strong. What is your reasons for Mr. Bosa going at number 2?
I mean, he had more sacks than Donald. He had more sacks than Garrett last season. And more forced fumbles. And more tackles. Oh, no, he didn't have more tackles. He had more, but he had more solo tackles.
Agreed on that one. He is, but as I said, they are both really double tackled, and Garrett gets back, so there is more combined tackles. He does get into the running back a lot, does get out wide as well to help them to get to the wide receivers, tight end as well. Bosa's a very much I'm going inside type of guy. I have seen him go on the outside. I won't deny that one. I do respect Nick Bosa. I think he's a very, very good player.
And the fact that he's one of my favourite players meant I couldn't put him really lower than 2.
I've put him at 3.
I've got Donald at 3.
I put Nick Bosa at 3. It was very close between who 3 and 4 is. He's only played 35 games, so he's only had, 2.5 seasons? 2 and a bit seasons?
2 seasons and 2 games.
But he's had 24.5 sacks.
Yes.
105 tackles in those 2 and a bit seasons.
I mean, all you need to do is look at how he changed the defense from when we didn't have him in 2018 to when we did have him in 2019. It was a different defense because of him.
This is what I said. This is what my argument with Chase Young is. This is what Chase Young did to Washington. The season, if you look at Washington's defense pre-Chase Young, they were one of the worst in the league. When they had Chase Young, they jumped up to, I think it was about 11th or 12th defense in the league.
Yeah, because
one defensive player, because he does that.
Niners went from pick 2 to the defense getting us to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And look how much Washington struggled. Like, Chase Young played, I want to say 6 games. I think he went off the 6th game. And it took 4 or 5 games after he went young. They didn't win the next 4 or 5 games because their defense was that good going into that. I think if Chase Young would have made it, he would have been in my top 5. I think. Because his stats were good enough in the first season.
Anyway,
yeah,
I've got Donald at 3.
Yeah, as I said, I got your gentleman at number 3, Nick Bosa at 3. Yeah. I've got to make sure I get it right now. I've got Aaron at 4.
Donald is an absolute beast.
If you ever see images of Aaron Donald without his shirt on, you will look at him going, there is no fat on this gentleman whatsoever. You could probably, it's like wearing a base hair, but you could pull it and there's nothing to it. He is, over his last 5 years, he's 78 games, 70 sacks. And I'm now looking at myself going, doubting, why have I put him at 4th? Why haven't I put him any higher? But that's me. 227 tackles. Look what he did in the Super Bowl in the second half. This is my reason why I put him in my top 5. He's 19 forced fumbles in the last 5 years and 6 fumble recoveries.
Yeah, there's no way there's a reason this guy's won DPOY twice.
Yeah. He is a brilliant, brilliant player. He's a great role model for that league. And I think if he retired, because there was rumours of him retiring at the end of last season when he had his ring, you would have seen a massive drop-off in the LA Rams defense.
Yes.
Massive drop-off. Because he is that character. He is that leader on that pitch.
Yeah.
Who have you
got? I
got?
was going to say that I have Garrett at 4.
You've got Garrett at 4. It's one of those ones, isn't it? I think we could justify putting any player in our top 5. And people will not argue. Well, you will get people arguing, going, why have you got him at this? Why have you not got him at that? You could put Aaron Donald at number 1 quite easily. And you could quite easily put Nick Bosa at 1. You could quite easily put Garrett at 1. TJ at 1, like we both have. It's that kind of thing. I
think we actually disagree on number 5.
I think we do. And I think
I think this is because we've done it a bit differently.
Go on then. Who's your 5?
I've got Robert Quinn at number 5 because I've looked a lot at what happened last season, where he was third in the sack charts with 18.5 sacks.
And he was one of the leaders on the tackling.
Yes, he was. He had I didn't write down how many tackles he has, but
to be fair, there is a piece of paper somewhere where I did write Robert Quinn down as a possibility. But then I looked at his stats. His last season stats were so much better than any other of his stats.
Yes.
He had...
there are so many people you could have put at 5, though. Robert Quinn, Matt Judon, Joey Bosa, JJ Watt.
Hendrickson. Look, but the same with Hendrickson. Massive jump when he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Quinn, my reason for not putting Quinn at 5, you could have put Von Miller in there as well. That's another one.
Yes, Von Miller crossed my mind also.
I actually crossed out Von Miller tonight. He is there. It's upside down. You can't see it. Von Miller has... 5? I'm going to just say why I didn't put Von Miller. I didn't put Von Miller at 5.
Okay.
Because he's always had a defense around him. Always had a really... Like this argument, discussion, or what we've mentioned 2 or 3 times tonight. Great defenses have 2 pass rushers. Excellent pass rushers. This is what I think Detroit are building now. This is what New England don't have really. They've always had that one pass rusher. Okay, yes, they've got Lawrence Guy and they've got other players who dive pass rush. But Robert Quinn's reason I haven't put Robert Quinn in there is because he had a massive drop off from last season. I have gone at 5. Number 9, New England Patriots GM Matt Judon. Matt Judon at 5. Over the last 5 seasons, 79 games, 43 sacks. So yes, his sacks isn't low, but he's had 268 tackles in that. And this guy's a linebacker. He's my only linebacker in this one.
Can you have TJ Watt at 1?
Yes. Is TJ Watt class? I would class him as DE.
He's classed as a linebacker.
Okay, so I've got 2 in there. Okay. What he did to New England's defense last year, he transformed New England's defense again last year so much. The second half of the season, he was doubled, sometimes triple teamed.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Matt Judon, and it probably is heart over head. thing.
Really, you hadn't mentioned that much.
No. Even got the shirt which Kelly Connie got me for Christmas, which I absolutely
Yeah,
love.
I know. I know.
I should have worn that tonight, really.
I was sat at Levi Stadium and I got a message saying, Ollie wants a Matt Judon search for Christmas. Is this the right thing? As I was in Levi Stadium.
Yeah, should have worn my Matt Judon jersey tonight. I was off coaching the two rushing around. I really like Jude, and I think what he does off the field, trying to recruit players, is hilarious. If you ever look at his Twitter account, it's brilliant. You'll just see him always literally comment players on 300. Come and join me. Come play with me. It's great fun in New England.
That's why you called him the GM.
Yep, he is the GM. He will possibly be a GM leaving that. I could see him doing that kind of role. Who do you think the people who are watching we missed? Is there anyone you put in there?
Obviously there are lots of players. JJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, maybe Max Crosby.
Max Crosby is another one across my mind. He did incredibly well. From what he's done coming out of rehab, he has done incredibly well. If you'd like us to do another top 5 next week, please say.
Let us know what you want us to do a top 5 of too.
I've written down quite a few I've got in my ideas what I can do. I'll let the guys know in the week because I don't do the research over. I like brains frazzled Saturday after coaching. I don't want to do anything now. I understand we have been going on for a stupid amount of long time tonight. I apologise for that, but it's been a really good show.
I've really enjoyed it. I'm not sure how the viewers did, but I really enjoyed it.
I've really enjoyed it tonight.
I reckon Tom had a tactical leave because he hadn't done the prep for the top 5.
Running across the bottom is our NFL Fantasy League. Please join that. There is still spaces available on that. Yes, it is only May. And yes, the season's 3.5 months away. But please get involved. Follow us on social media. We are more engaging now. We do have a new member of our team, which hopefully we are going to introduce to you, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't be here this week.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Mr. Hope, thank you very much for being involved. Ladies and gentlemen, it involves
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure with you, Mr. Butler Henderson.
Yeah, and
you're very slow. And your very slow Wi-Fi.
I don't think it is. Stay safe, all.